Welcome! That is so loud. Okay, excuse me for that. Welcome back to Radio Channel 1471. I'm your host, Sterling. I just booped the base of the mic. And, this is podcast. This is podcast episode 16, I do believe. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. I know for a fact it's episode 16. Well, okay. Technically, it's only episode 15, but no, it's not. If you count the what's it called? Episode 0 pilot episode as an episode. Technically, this would be episode 16. Yada yada. You didn't come here for that. What you came here for are interesting topics such as coffee, tea, energy drinks, Destiny 2 news, gaming news in general. Maybe a little bit of modern day? No. Maybe a little bit of what is it called? World news? Sure. I'm not sure how any of this sounds, I'll be honest. I'm trying something new and recording with the Rode Pod mic. Yes, that is right, the Rode Pod mic. I have it pointed at the corner of my mouth. It is, how many? 1, 2, 3. It's like 3 inches away from my face. I know that sounds really close, but at the same time, it's a comfortable distance away, given my desk. I would have preferred to have it on a almost boom stand. What is it called? It's like the thing streamers use in that they mount, I guess you should say, they mount their mics to. Now I have what do you call this? It's just a desk like, I don't know. It probably says it on the box. Ooh, tabletop microphone stand. That's what this is. So it's not the clamp-on movable one. It is the stationary one, which is okay. It actually really fits my setup. Maybe not cable-wise. I have a fire hazard of a cable situation going on under my desk, but that's okay. My desk hasn't caught on fire yet, so I'm good. There's no script like usual, but what I mean by that is there's no list of things for me to go off of this time. I kind of felt like the raw energy is needed again. You know what I mean? Kinda? Yep, nope, my list has nothing on it. There are a couple things I should probably write down, though, so I don't forget. I do not know how much audio this mic picks up yet. I've only done a tiny bit of testing. It is at about 7 gain on my Zoom H8. It is actually currently plugged into my computer. I'm recording this with Audacity. Crazy, right? I have it connected to the Zoom, and I'm not recording it straight onto the Zoom. And I'll tell you why. It's actually really convenient to have it directly connected to the computer, because I can see the waveforms in Audacity. And being able to see the waveforms in Audacity is really convenient, because you can see when you peak or when you are talking a little too quiet and it won't pick up your voice because you're talking too quiet, and then you'll go peak. No, that wasn't that loud. It's actually pretty hard to peak with this. Oh, you got plosive though. Peter Piper picked a podcast. Plosive test plosives. I haven't really checked that a lot. Oh, my mind. I had coffee this morning. I did, and it wasn't HEB. Ooh, my head. And it wasn't HEB brand. It was actually... It was a coffee I got when I was in Estes Park. I don't remember... What is it called? Highlands Coffee? Question mark? Let me see if I can find it on the internet. Highlands Coffee. Let me see an image. Image. Coffee beans. I guess I have to specify that, because apparently there's a Highlands Coffee shop. So it's not what I thought it was. Okay. Oh, yep, nope. Definitely not Highlands coffee. So I don't remember the brand name of the coffee I had, but it was okay. I used about 3 tablespoons worth of coffee grounds and about 2 cups worth of water. I'd say 2 mugs worth of water. And it wasn't too strong, wasn't too bitter, wasn't too acidic, wasn't acidic at all, really. It was kind of bitter, a little bit, not too much. It was bearable. It was nice. And what else was there? Oh, it got really cold super quick. I don't know why. I drank most of my mug of coffee, then I put it down for about a minute or two, and it was practically ice cold. And that kind of stunk, but I still drank it. Even in my thermos, well, I guess it's not a thermos, it's a travel mug. It still got cold super quick, and that was disappointing, a little saddening. I had to dump out about maybe a third of the coffee in the travel mug. That wasn't too cool. Oh, I just not sniffled. I blew onto the mic. I don't know how well it picked that up. I don't know. But yeah, the Highlands coffee wasn't too bad. I'd say out of a 5-star rating, I'd give it a 3. No, 3's too low. I'll give it a solid 4. It wasn't bad. It wasn't great, but it was good. It was, in fact, good. Would drink again. And I have to, because I have a practically full bag of coffee beans. So, some of the things I wanted to talk about today in this episode 16, let me remind you about that for some reason. In this episode, I guess I will try to talk about a new podcast I discovered. I didn't know it existed until a couple days ago. No, it was yesterday. I found out about it yesterday. What day is it? I guess I should say that. It is January 10th. January 10th. Right now, as of recording this. And I found out about this podcast. It's called Furreal, like Furreal, right? That would be embarrassing if I got that wrong. Yeah, okay. It's called Furreal, ? And the question mark, that's in the title. It's called Furreal ? If you couldn't guess just by the name, yes, it is a furry podcast ran by a furry and with nothing but furries and blah blah blah. But they don't really discuss. Well, okay, that's not true. They do discuss furry things and how specific medias such as film and music contributed. Well, not really music, such as films contributed to certain aspects of becoming a furry and yada yada. Basically, it's hosted by this one guy whose name is Danny, I believe. He is a Brit, and let's see, they have 5 episodes, 4 episodes? ? It's a fairly new podcast, I think. It's interesting because it's oh, now I have to go find it. Where is it? Could have sworn it was right here. Here it is. There's only 4 episodes. It's interesting. It really is. In the intro, or the pilot thing that he did on his YouTube channel, he basically described it as a podcast to bring furry content creators to him so he can learn about how they affect the community or how they contribute to the community. And it's interesting because you learn about people like musicians and DJs and artists and yada yada in the community. It's interesting, but at the same time, I'm half half and half with it right now. I only I only found it yesterday. I only finished up to episode 2 and started episode 3. And the first one, I wasn't too interested in because it was mostly like DJs and okay, it was 3 people, the host and the 2 guests. They're like, how do I describe it? They're like, I don't know. Basically, I'm saying it's subjective. You know, I feel like with that series of podcasts, I'd probably later on pick and choose episodes because as interesting as they are, they're not too interesting if you don't really like the subject. Like, the first episode was primarily focused on like hype beastie stuff, you know? Or it wasn't primarily focused on that. It was just that was a good long topic that they were talking about. And it was interesting, but at the same time once again, it didn't really interest me. You know? Why do I always sound so tired when I listen to myself? I always sound so tired, and then it's like, am I tired? Am I too tired to be recording this? No, I think I'm fine. I sound very whiny. My voice, ooh, it sounds whiny. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. What else? Okay, so basically, I guess go check out the podcast if you're interested in that. It's interesting, but it's not. But it is. It's really well thought out, I think. Yeah. Um, I guess if I were to really describe what it's actually about, basically the host brings on a guest or 2 or how many ever guests he likes, and then he asks them to pick a album and a movie to discuss. And they talk about other stuff too in the episode, but the main the thing common about each episode is that it always has the album and the movie discussion. That's the common thing between each episode. And it is interesting. Sometimes I forget I can actually take breaks between topics that I discuss, and I don't actually have to say it all in one go. Yeah, oh, let me tell you, man. Let me tell you, I can get very. I don't want to say worn out. I can get very. What's the word? Out of breath. I can get out of breath because I'm talking so fast. I'm trying to talk louder so that this microphone can pick up my voice more, because I noticed that with this mic specifically, it has a hard time picking up quieter sounds. It has a hard time picking up things around you. So you kind of have to talk with a certain tone or or a certain amplitude. Is that the right word? I believe so. It's very interesting. I have it at 7 gain because I noticed if I go a little above 7 gain or even, well, higher, if I go higher than 7 gain, it picks up like this low, maybe not low frequency, high frequency sound, I guess you could say. And I was talking to a friend about that, and I was kind of asking about like how he might know how to fix that, and he brought up an equalizer, I believe he said. Let me see. Yes, an equalizer. And maybe I'll try that if I can actually hear it in this audio. Maybe not. I'm not sure. I know that noise reduction might work. I did a little test with noise reduction in Audacity, and you know what I found out? Noise reduction works better with audio when you're talking at a normal volume than it does when you're whispering. So for ASMR applications, it kind of stinks and makes your audio sound really bad. But for podcasting, I think noise reduction in Audacity at least sounds pretty decent. Or at least I think so. I only tested that out on a short audio clip, and I still have some more testing to do. I gotta drink some water. Okay, so I just took a quick second to find out, because I don't remember specifically what happened with the Destiny 2 Dawning Community Event Quest. Because I remember seeing that it finished one day, but I don't remember hearing anything about whether or not Bungie actually stepped in. Now, after doing a quick couple seconds research, I did find out that yes, from the sounds of it, it did sound like Bungie did step in to increase the multiplier for the Dawning Community Quest. So, once again, Bungie did step in so that we could pass the Community Quest, which is... I don't know. I don't know if I agree with whether or not they should be doing that. It's a topic brought up quite a bit. Should Bungie be stepping in on community quests, or should they let us fail? It's a good question, and I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. I don't know the answer to that because it's like, for all the casual players who don't, well, okay, I guess, no, that doesn't make sense. Okay, I was gonna say for all the casual players, it makes sense that they would do that, but at the same time, from what I heard, community quests don't really make it to where the solo player can really do a lot for it. So I don't know. Yeah, no, I don't know. I really don't know the answer to the question. I feel like no, they shouldn't step in. I feel like yeah, we should fail the quests. But I also feel like, well, no, I was gonna say I feel like the quests shouldn't really have anything specific tied to them, but then what's the point of doing the quest, you know? Should the question be, should they make community quests more obtainable, or should they just not do community quests? Should they do quests that the solo player can grind and do for themselves? You know? Because I know there was a bit of complaining with how solo players can't really do anything if the quest were or were not to fail. Because apparently one solo person, if they grinded out a lot, and I mean a lot, of the cookies, I guess they were, or for any other community quests, like just whatever thing they had to grind, apparently even if one person did as much as they could, as fast as they could, it apparently would not have really mattered. But I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't even remember what the reward was. I don't think it was anything memorable. It was like a ship? An exotic? I think it was an exotic. Yeah, it was. Because I remember there was a clip of somebody who got the package or the reward and they got the Aeon Safe exotic gauntlets. And let me tell you, those are not good gauntlets. Not at all. Nope. Other than that, there's not a whole lot going on in Destiny right now. Ooh, okay. The season of the hunt. Is it the final cutscene? No, it's like one of the more important cutscenes to the season of the hunt has finally been accessible now. So I guess I shouldn't really spoil it. Okay, spoilers for the next couple minutes. You're being warned. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Okay. The Guardian, or your Guardian, in a cutscene, frees the Crow, or Aldrin Sov. So, that's interesting. I knew about that cutscene because it was leaked like months ago, I think, and I watched it a long time ago. I thought it was in the game a long time ago because I watched the cutscene, but I guess it was only just recently released. So, there's that. The quest was very anticlimactic. It wasn't hard. It wasn't very interesting. you know, it was just a go fight this boss, and there you go. So that was fun while it lasted. Fun while it lasted. It was a very short thing. I rarely ever used the the lure charges. Um, there's this secondary grenade launcher, a wave grenade launcher or wave impact grenade launcher, like the grenade launcher back in Season of the Dawn question mark. Basically, it's a quote unquote good grenade launcher that I haven't grinded for, but I didn't use the last one, and I don't think I'll use this one. I'm not a fan of secondary grenade launchers. They're okay. Every now and then I'll be like, "Oh man, I just want to use grenade launchers," but I won't be like, "Oh man, I need this god roll gold. I need this god roll grenade launcher so I can breeze through things, you know?" Meh, meh. This season, this season was meh. It wasn't great. It wasn't bad. It was okay. And it didn't have a whole lot of content either. I got the laminate exotic sword, and I haven't used it too much, but it is very convenient for the legendary and master difficulty lost sectors. I've never completed a master difficulty lost sector because it is too frustrating to do solo, and I don't really feel like going on LFG just to do a lost sector. I've been waiting for a legendary lost sector, the not so hard one, so I could. Okay, the legendary lost sector with the exotic arm piece drop rate chance thing, whatever you call it, because I have been trying to get those necrotic grips for so long. It's not even funny. You can't get it from normal exotic, what are they called? Engrams? Yes. Man, I feel like I haven't played the game in forever, and I played it just yesterday. Um, Let me tell you, I've opened like 6 exotic engrams from the season passes, but I haven't kept any of those exotics. Like, exotic armor at the moment isn't too useful for me. I've been using the same exotic boots for about a few months now, I think, and it's kind of boring, but at the same time, it's like there's no other reason to really use any other exotic armor piece unless you're trying to do fun PvP rolls or fun PvE rolls. And it's kind of sad. It is. But it's I'm you know, I'm having fun in Destiny, kinda. I'd have to say the most fun thing I do in Destiny is probably Iron Banner. Iron Banner is always fun. It is. And there's even a freelance Iron Banner playlist now, and that's cool because that means I can be a solo player and not get 6 stacked every time I play Iron Banner. I don't know though. Sometimes it's fun to go against a fire team of people and win. But when you get absolutely destroyed by a fire team of people, then it's not so fun. I guess that's really all there is when it comes to Destiny. There's not a whole lot going on in the game. I think I heard not a lot of people are actually playing the game on PC. Destiny 2 population. Destiny 2 population. Let's see. Ba, 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 ba. Steam charts. Ugh. Yeah, it's a lot of red. There's a lot of red. Ooh, okay. It goes from between 50,000 players to 100,000 players per day on Steam at least, and that's not too great compared to what it used to be at. What was the highest it's ever been at? That's a good question. Looks like the peak Destiny players was on November of 2020, and it was 241,000 players. And the lowest amount of players in 1 month was May 2020, 76,000 players. Wow, that is insane. The peak amount of players within the last 30 days was 110,000. So, yeah, Destiny 2 is kind of in a rocky place right now. I guess? Yeah? Is that good? Is that bad? I don't really know if that's a low or a high amount of players. I mean, once you compare that to like League of Legends or WoW, yeah, that's a low amount of players. But once you compare that to something like, I don't know, what's a game people don't play? I can't come up with any names of games people don't play because I don't play games people don't play. Huh. What's Among Us at? Among Us Steam charts. Let's see here. I mean, obviously it's going to be high, right? Huh. Okay, that's insane. So it wasn't until April 2020 that it got over 1,000 players. Before that, it was less than 1,000 players for about 2 years. Huh. The highest peak player count was 4,388. Not 4,000. 400,003. No, that's not. Man, I forgot how to say numbers. 438,000 players. That is the highest peak player count within the last 3 years. And that was September 2020. Huh. I don't know. It's interesting. So aside from Destiny, what else is there for me to talk about? Let me tell you, I can run my mouth for an hour, maybe 2 hours about when it comes, what am I saying? What I'm trying to say is coffee, tea, or energy drinks. I could talk for so long about coffee, tea, or energy drinks. I could talk about that for years, and it would never get boring to me. I mean, that's not true at all. It would probably get super boring at some point. If it were up to me, I would make it either a segment or the main like focus of this podcast just to talk about coffee, tea, or energy drinks. Let me tell you, do you know how cool it would be to every episode review a coffee, a tea, or an energy drink? Whoa, okay, that was a weird stutter thing. Energy drink? It would be fun. It would be super cool. It would be nice. I'd get to try so many new things. It would be cool. But, at the moment, I don't really have the spending money to just go buy coffee every week or buy an energy drink every week. Well, I mean, maybe. Yeah, well, no. There's only so many energy drinks, you know? The report of the week can only review so many energy drinks. It's true. What is there for me to talk about when it comes to coffee, tea, or energy drinks right now? I'll tell you what there's to talk about. Was it AG or no? I talked about that last time. Well, there's two people I could talk about. I think for today, I'll talk about For today, I think I'll talk about Splash. Splish, splash, splishity, splash. Yes, Splash. I asked him, I finally got around to asking him about what coffee, tea, or energy drink he likes. And, well, okay, at first I asked him what coffee or tea he likes. And you know what he said? He said he doesn't like coffee or tea. And that I found that very interesting. Because, as all Americans know, every British person drinks tea, right? Apparently not. Wow, crazy. I know, right? And then I brought up my backup question, the question about what energy drink do you like, because typically, if people don't like tea or coffee, they might like energy drinks. And if they don't, well, there's nothing else I can fall back on. But he does like energy drinks, and you know what energy drink he chose? He chose Monster Energy Drink Green. Green, meaning original flavor. Because the original Monster Energy Drink flavor is in a green can. I don't even know what the Monster Energy Drink flavor for the green can is, to be honest. Let me tell you. Energy drinks either have a distinct flavor or they have the flavor of just chemicals. Like, you don't really know what flavor it is. You know there is a flavor, but you can't really put words to the flavor. I don't think it has a name for its flavor. Okay, Monster Energy Drink flavor. Green. Oh, okay. There's actually... Okay, never mind. Maybe he wasn't choosing the OG one. Maybe he was choosing the fully green energy drink can. Because the original Monster Energy Drink is black and green. But there is apparently a Monster Energy Drink can that is all green. So I don't know if he was talking about this apple watermelon flavor or if he was talking about the original one. I'm assuming he was talking about the original one. But maybe he wasn't. Monster Energy Drink OG flavor. Let's see if I can find that. Okay, so the original Monster Energy Drink flavor is described as sourness with some apple, with some sweet, and some bubblegum. Okay, that doesn't make sense. What kind of sentence is this? It says, it's like a classic energy drink sourness, with some apple, with some sweet, and bubblegum to distinguish it from other brands' originals. So apparently the original Monster Energy Drink flavor can be described as a sour, somewhat apple-y tasting sweet drink. I don't really know how you put bubblegum into that. Does it taste like gum? I don't think so. It's been a while since I've had the OG Monster. It really has. But, yeah, I'd have to say I was never a fan of Red Bull. I would always stan Monster. But, I'm more of a NOS guy nowadays. More of a NOS person. NOS energy drink. I asked him if they had NOS there. Apparently they do not have NOS in the UK, or at least he said that. I can't really confirm because I don't live in the UK, but yep. NOS is good. I recommend anybody who hasn't tried NOS to try it. It's like the original flavor of NOS is orange citrus, I believe. Kind of tastes like that. It's pretty good. I'm not a fan of orange, but at the same time, NOS does it well. I think I tried one not too long ago. I don't remember what flavor of NOS it was, but it was good, whatever it was. I think it was mango? I don't like mango either, yet somehow I liked the NOS mango flavor. It's strange. NOS makes me like flavors I don't like. Okay, so... Okay, so the other person I was going to talk about, so I asked the good news, everybody. Let me tell you this first before I get into what the artist chose. It came to me in my mind, or in my mind, my thought bubble, in my ideas, in my mind. Okay, no, that doesn't sound right. Okay, let me try again. It finally came to me. What should I do for the thumbnails? And I figured it out. I didn't need the artist to do the thumbnail. I needed the artist to draw Sterling. I needed a character still so that I could put that in the thumbnail. So I did that. I went to my I need air. I need air. I went to my new go-to artist and I basically said, yo, 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 do you think you could do character stills? They said, yeah, here's some examples of some recent ones I did. And then I was like, cool, here are my ideas. And then they said, neat. And then I said, so, we're gonna do this? And they said, sure. And then we did it. So now I'm waiting on those. One. I'm waiting on one because I said, let's try out one for now and then see if we could go for some others. So I'm waiting on one specific still, and I'm going to use those for the thumbnails. Hopefully, if they work out. Excuse the car in the background. I don't know if you could hear that or not. And the AC. I doubt you can hear the AC because this mic doesn't really pick up a lot of noises, a lot of background noise. Like, okay, for example, I'm going to back up like a foot and you'll hear the difference. Hello. Okay, maybe it wasn't that big of a difference. I'll back up a little bit more. I'm like 2 feet away from the mic now. This is how I sound. Now I'm like 3 feet away from the mic. Okay, I guess I can still see the waves on Audacity, but I don't think they weren't too big, but they were there, which is more than I was expecting. So, oh yeah, I totally forgot the main purpose of me bringing that up. The artist. I asked the artist. I asked the artist what their favorite coffee was, specifically coffee. I did not present the tea or energy drink question to them because I thought they would know their coffees. I was wrong, but I wasn't. They know their coffees, but they don't know their specific coffees. So they don't really have any specific coffee brands or specific coffee beans. But they did say what roast they like. They like dark roast. And that's cool. Yeah, I guess. Yeah. I like dark roast too, but I've been finding myself enjoying medium roast more. It's been a long, long time since I've had light roast. That's for sure. But yeah, it's been a long, long time since I've had light roast. So I have no idea. But they said dark roast, and so that was interesting. But then we proceeded to have a very long discussion about teas and coffees, mostly tea though, and I gave them a long list of teas that I would recommend. In reality, I gave them a long list of all the teas that I've had. I mean, not all of the teas. There are certainly a lot more teas that I've had, but I gave them a list of most of the teas I've gone from. I've been calling it the Western Tea Exchange, but the website just says the Spice and Tea Exchange. But I could have sworn their business card said the Western Tea Exchange. Let me look. I should have it somewhere. Nope, apparently it's not called the Western Tea Exchange. It's just called the Spice and Tea Exchange. Yeah, I've been calling it the Western Tea Exchange this whole time, and it's not even called that. Hopefully they found the website. So I basically listed off a long list of most of the teas I've had from the Spice and Tea Exchange, and apparently they've never had a creamy tea, which I guess is surprising, but not at the same time, because you don't really find a whole lot of creamy teas or specialties, I guess you could say, when you go to the grocery store. And it's not easy to find new specialties. It's not easy. So I gave them a list. Hopefully they're going to try out some teas. I noticed something. I brought up putting lemon in tea, like lemon slices in tea, and it really kind of seemed like they didn't want to try that. And that was a little strange, but I mean, they never said it, but they never went like, "Oh yeah, I think I'll have to try that." No, they just kind of like never mentioned it, which was strange, but not at the same time. I don't know. Something else was strange. Well, okay, it's not strange. I just wasn't expecting them to be like, "Oh, I don't really put anything in my teas." And I don't either. I just brought up that every now and then I'll put like lemon slices in tea or some honey. I don't do that a lot. I only do that like once in a blue moon. But they were like, "Oh, we're like completely opposite. I don't put anything in tea." And I was just thinking in my head, I don't really put anything in my tea either. It's not a normal thing for me to put something in my tea. But I didn't say anything. Hey, I don't know. It's strange. It's strange. So they brought up we were talking about tea and coffee and stuff. We're talking about brew methods. They said something interesting. I asked them how they brew their coffee, and they said they would crush up coffee beans if they had them. They mostly use pre-ground, but they would crush up coffee beans if they had them. And I have no idea what that means. Like, I just picture them like taking their like palm and crushing up coffee beans in like a bag or something. But I've never heard of anyone doing that before. I've never heard someone say, "Oh, I'm just going to crush up some coffee beans real quick." So I'm wondering what that means. I'm a bit afraid to find out what they mean by that. But it's interesting. They said they would put the coffee grounds straight in the cup and brew it like that. But I've also never heard of anyone doing that either. So there's that. But I also know they like, or at least they drink, instant coffee. I'm not really an instant coffee person. I think I've only like ever had instant coffee like a couple times. It's been a long time. It really has. But I've never met anyone who's just an instant coffee person, you know? I knew they existed, but I never thought I would meet someone who does that. I'm interested. I'm interested in trying instant coffee, you know? It's been a while. My tasting palate has changed over the years. Who knows? Maybe I'd like it too. I don't know. I don't know. Who knows? I don't know. Either way, since we're kind of coming to an end here, okay, let me mention this too. On the Furreal podcast, he tries to get his episodes to about an hour to an hour 30 in time, and it looks better. On YouTube, seeing a video that is about an hour long and not like 56 minutes or 58 minutes. An hour-long podcast looks more pleasing to the eye. I don't know how to explain it, but it just does. So I'm thinking maybe I'll try to do hour-long podcasts instead of 50-something minute-long podcasts. But at the same time, the reason I do 50-some minute podcasts is because you can only record up to an hour's worth of footage on the PS4 at a time. And you would think, oh, that's perfect, an hour's worth of footage. But when I say an hour's worth of footage, I don't mean 60 minutes. I mean, it only ever really records about 58 minutes or, around there of video. Or at least for me, it does that for some reason. I don't know why, but it does. And so there's that. There's that. So I'm gonna try new things. Try new things in regards to that. What else was there? Oh, I was gonna say something else too. Oh, yes. So there is a specific video that I want to do. I want to do a deep dive on ASMR. I want to do like a whole podcast episode talking about ASMR. There's so much I have to say about that. I want to make it really good. I want to define ASMR, and I want to bring up a bunch of topics about ASMR, and I want to be like, what it, how do I explain? Like, basically, it's going to be a big video. I'm going to try to make it a pretty big project for me. I'm going to try to make the editing good. I'm going to try to pull all the cliche, like, big, bold letters on the screen, blared out background, and it has a timestamp saying the part where blah, 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 or, like, intro, and, because there are these videos of people who talk about certain topics or have these who talk about certain topics, and they have these long videos about it, and then they always have segments. They always do these in parts in one video. They set it up to where it's in parts, and then at the turn of the part, like the transition, they almost always, I guess, have this big bold thing in the background with some like funky music in the background, and it's like, I don't know how to describe it. In my mind, it's cheesy and kind of cheap, but it works. It really does catch the eye. So there's that. Yada, yada, yada. Ooh. Yes, I just remembered. Guess what I did? I finally can update you on music again. Once again, I always have to talk about music, even to know. I think I am going to stop bringing up music in like every episode because it's unoriginal. Like, music is an interesting topic to listen to. It's always interesting. People like topics about music. People like hearing people talk about music. People like reviews about music. People like people discussing music. But at the same time, it's done so much over and over and over again. Almost every podcast has something about music in it. Music is everywhere. And as much as I enjoy talking about the cassettes I get, I don't want to talk about music all the time. Maybe I will, though. It is interesting, in my opinion. The cassettes are so cool, man. CDs are cool, too. But cassettes? So, what I did, what? No, I talked about that last time, didn't I? Did I talk about the Neon Rain cassette? It has an Obi strip and everything, yada yada. I think I did. But there are two other cassettes I ordered recently. What was it, like yesterday? I ordered Eldrin's Misinformation Aged. That's what it's called, right? I have the CD. Yeah, okay. Misinformation Aged cassette and Eldrin's Welcome to Deathville cassette. And yeah, it's gonna be cool. It's gonna be neat. I'm gonna have more lyrical cassettes. As cool as ambient music is on cassette, it's kind of boring to listen to, Like, it's nice to listen to. It's good background music, but it's not really the most interesting thing to jam out to. So there's that. Now I'm gonna have lyrical music cassettes again. I already have lyrical music cassettes. I still have my. I'm almost. With when those 2 cassettes come in, I'm gonna fill up my 2 tiny cassette racks. They hold 10 cassettes each, so I'm gonna have 20 cassettes. That's not true. I'm gonna have over 20 cassettes. I've got a bunch of cassettes without cases lying around somewhere, and I've got one in the cassette deck. I tell you that cassettes are cool. They really are. Yep. I don't know. I felt like there was more I could talk about when it comes to that, but I guess there wasn't. Yeah. I don't really know what else to talk about. Like, as much as I want to push on this episode and have more to talk about, there isn't a lot more for me to talk about. I guess I forgot to make clips of the last episode and maybe the episode before that. I should actually probably start doing that again. I don't know. It's just sometimes you forget, you know? Ooh, I guess I could talk about keyboards. Recently, I've been seeing a lot more custom keyboard videos, and it is interesting. My keyboard is a hand-me-down keyboard, and it's all grimy in between the caps. There's a lot of food in between the keycaps that I did not put in there myself. It is not my grime, but it is in my keyboard because it is my keyboard now. So, there's that. As cool as a custom keyboard would be, they are stupid expensive. They can easily go above $100, $200, just like that. You only need to buy like 2 components to the thing and it will be super expensive. There are some, like, one of the cheapest videos I saw was $100 bill, and that's insane. For a keyboard? Really? That is insane. They look nice, but at the same, I don't know how I feel about 60% keyboards. They're like keyboards without the numpad, and without the arrow keys, and without all the extra keys. I don't know how I feel about that. Like, it is smaller, takes up less space on your desk, and you really don't really need the num keys and stuff, but at the same time, they're convenient every now and then. Maybe not. I could go without that. But the arrow keys, I need the arrow keys, right? I use the arrow keys a lot. But I don't know. They're still technically on the 60% keyboards. It just, I don't know if I could get used to it. Maybe one day. Maybe one day I'll get a custom keyboard. I doubt it for a while. I doubt it. I'll give it a couple years. Yeah, it's cool. I got the Rode Pod mic. I've got the character still coming in. I don't know when. It'll probably be maybe a couple weeks, few weeks till I get that in, which kind of stinks. I was hoping I could get it a little quicker, but that's fine. I really don't need it too soon. I wanted to start off the first podcast episode of the year with the new mic and new thumbnail art and probably the same background footage, but the new thumbnails and the new mic were going to be such a big thing. They were going to be such a big thing. We can wait a couple episodes. So this is episode 16. There's going to be a point when I get to episode 50, and we'll really see where we're at by then. I want to find out how I extend my reach out there more, how I get more popularity, how I get more of an audience. I really want to know how to do that without just leeching off of other people, you know? I don't... It just... It gets to a point when you realize... I don't know. It's hard to explain. Anyways, I guess I'll end it here. I'll edit the audio. I'll probably cut out a good 10 minutes of audio because there was a lot of blank spaces this episode with the new mic. And I don't know why, but my throat feels very hoarse right now. It feels very scratchy. I just feel like I'm talking very hoarsely, you know? No. Am I talking weird? I'm not sure. Anyways, I don't have an outro yet. Did you realize that? I don't have an outro yet. I don't really. Let me tell you, I don't really want to mess with the background music. I don't. I don't think I'll do that this episode either. Like, as nice as it is, and if you do it right, you can really make it look good. But at the same time, it's like I do it differently each time I do it. Same with the way I make the background footage and stuff, and how I put the little image of Sterling on the background footage. I do it differently every time, and you can see the differences per thumbnail. And it's like it's gonna be really small this episode, and then it's gonna be really big, and then it's gonna be like somewhere in between, and then it's gonna be small, and then it's gonna be big. And it bugs me probably more than it bugs anyone else. But let me tell you, when you have to look at it almost every day, it's like, That's one of the reasons I wanted to get a more set in stone thumbnail. One, so that the viewer can actually tell what's going on in the video, because I was thinking of having like an image showing a topic from the video in the thumbnail. Then I was also, I should have thought about that. Darn. I had an idea that I totally forgot to mention. Darn. Okay, if the character still works out, I'll try out the other idea that I just remembered I had. I don't know. I've got nothing else to say. I'm just rambling on right now. Well, goodbye. Hopefully I see I see you in episode 17. Oh yeah, and the one episode that I was thinking about. But I really want to wait for the character still and the better thumbnails for the ASMR video, because I want that to be a very good video. I want it to be like, I don't want to say my debut, but like one of my bigger videos, one of my more important videos, you know? Yeah. So after editing the over hours worth of audio, there was something I heard that was wrong. I just said something wrong. So if something sounded wrong to you, it was probably that. I don't remember what it was specifically. I wanted to correct it, but I forgot. There's also something I wanted to mention with the artist too. I don't remember what it was. It was going to be interesting, but I don't remember what it was. I forgot to talk about how the American capital was invaded by Americans. Yep, a bunch of Americans stormed the Capitol Hill. I'm not really going to get too in-depth into that. All I can say is, as an American, it is very unnerving. It's very not cool. It's very, I don't want to say frightening to see. Yeah, I think I nailed it the first time. It's very unnerving. It's very wrong. It feels wrong in many ways. It's just, it should never have happened. Yeah. Other than that, there were some other things I wanted to talk about, but I just don't remember. This is why we use lists. But at the same time, this is a good test episode for the new mic, but at the same time, this is a good episode on its own. I think this episode turned out fine. I'll see what I can do for the background footage. And yeah. So thanks for listening. Well, let me mention this. Please, please like, share, subscribe, yada yada. It's just I don't want to not say it, but I don't want to say it, because a lot of people harp on people who say that, and I get where they're coming from, but at the same time, you kind of have to ask, you kind of have to mention it some way, somehow. It's just, you gotta depend on, what's it called? like word of mouth. You gotta depend on people to spread your content, because it's hard to get out there, you know. Yeah. So thanks for listening. Yada yada.